Politics, like I keep telling people, is a call for service. Politics is a vehicle through which development is brought to the people. I have the passion for developing our place. I also have the passion to be selfless. In my personal capacity, I try to touch lives. I try to improve people's life. But I discover that maybe I don't have the wherewithal to do all. I keep telling people, let me even start from my town. I was discussing with somebody, I said, I wish I have all the money to tile the roads, build some shanty houses that in my village, bring it down and build and make every life in my village and in my LGA better. Then I have no business to be in politics. I wish I have the personal money to do all this, since I have no, and I wish God can also bless me to that capacity, to touch lives positively, all the 18 towns of my local government. Then I have no business to be in politics. But because I don't have the wherewithal, the little I have is what I'm trying to do. It now, because of the passion that I have to improve lives, because of the passion I have to offer service to my people, I felt that the fastest way to do is to bring government presence into my LG. And you cannot do it from afar. You have to be in the corridor of power. So that is the motivating force. That is the first thing that is pushing me. If it is for money, I am not a rich man, but I think I can fend for myself. I can take care of my family. So if money is the motivation, then I wouldn't have been in politics. And I'm talking from a very sincere heart. But my driving force is service. I want to serve my people sincerely, genuinely, from my heart. I want to do it differently. I want to be their rep. And I want them to be my people. We could talk, we could listen to ourselves, we could share ideas. I don't even need them to tell me what the problem is. From Ogodo to Ezi, to Isela Sabwa, to Idumujuno, to Aniofu, to Bulubu. I apply those roads. I transverse around Aniocha North. So I can tell you, if you mention a town, I can tell you what is the priority. I don't need a king to come and tell me. In this my head, I know the needs of every community. I know the one that I water. I know the ones that is road. I know the ones that is health care. I know some community that travels from the town in the night, maybe for delivery, to the neighboring town. No maternity, no health center. All those things are at my palm. So I know the history of Aniocha North. So I am going, I'm aspiring, God willing, if I win, gradually, step by step, we'll begin to tackle those issues in the order of priority. So the driving force that is taking me into politics, and I say with all sense of modesty and sincerity, is to offer service to people, to bring the presence of government to the people, to continue from where the people that are there already, to continue from there, and possibly by the grace of God improve and better the lives of our people. Everybody cannot be in government. So you that is there should also know that you didn't just go there. You are representing a certain persons, and their dreams, their burden should be your burden. 2008, I aspire for this particular position. And in the course of that, of course, and that's another thing that I need to also say, that some persons are desperate. Jude Baadi is not a desperate person. First of all, power comes from God. God chooses who to bless. Before we were born, he said, before you were born, I knew thee, I know what you're going to be. So I don't believe in desperation. So I came out, and a lot of persons came out. Incidentally, somebody also came out from my town, and I just felt, still my selfless nature, in that my selfless nature, I just felt, okay, if we continue this journey, two of us from my town, we are going to dim our chances of winning. If you say you are coming out to serve, and I am coming out to serve, then it's a selfless service. So why should we be, desperate for a job that you feel and you say is selfless? we did some wide consultations, and in my mind, I just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to step down for this, my brother. Even though I believed I had a better chance. But because our vision is the same thing, to serve the people, so why are we going to kill ourselves for it? So I stepped down for him, and I gave him all the support. I gave him all the support in that 2008. And since that 2008, I have been actively involved in the democratic movements and politicking of Anyochano. There's no election that I am not just involved, but very, very active. So I've been actively involved in all elections: House of Assembly, Reps, Senate, governorship, presidency. I've been involved, and I've been assisting people, playing my own role for my party and also for the candidates. And I have experienced victories for some of them, and without expecting anything. That is true. I wasn't doing it for them to pay me back, but I felt that is also my own contribution to the people. That when I play a role in making this person win, I want to believe that in turn too, he should remember where we come from and work for them. So I've seen victories, I've seen them win, I've seen being sworn in. So in 2015, 2019, I've been involved. I've seen them, helped them to win election positively. The little I can contribute financially, I've done so. So at this point in time also, I felt that to whom much is also given, much is expected of that such person. It is only natural also that now that I have come out, for those who have benefited from my service to them should also reciprocate it, because I have decided, I have also felt that this is also the time for me also to serve the people. Life is all about turn. Life is all about, it revolves. Today it can be you, tomorrow it should be another person. So I expect that this time also, for those who benefited from my service, should also, do the same thing to me. It's only natural. Sincerely, I don't think I don't hold that, I don't share in the opinion of most of the persons that Anyochano is factionalized. I don't see negativity in it. There is no society that's going to be in one room. There is no group of persons that's going to have the same ideology. It is not just possible. Even in your own family, in my family, my nuclear family, my children, I'm a diehard supporter of Man U. My first son says no, I want to belong to Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan. Others are Barcelona fans. So they belong to different, football club or so. But after the match, sometimes Man U will be playing against Chelsea. That is me against my first son. At that 30 minutes that we are playing, his wish is that he wins. My own wish is that I win. But after the match, if I win, I will congratulate him. Sorry, he will congratulate me. And if he wins, I will do the same thing. And I will encourage him. Of course, there is pain that is always associated to, failure. I will tell him, oh boy, you will win the next time. So that is why I keep telling people that I don't see negativity in things. I try to see the positivity in it. We are first of all, we are brothers before we became politicians. Even if politics go today, we will still remain brothers. So let that be in our mind, that wherever you are is just for you to, that is where you feel that you can anchor. So groups are okay. You cannot rule out group in any society. But then when you are in that group, what is your mindset towards the other person that is not in your group? That is what matters. And that is where I come. That is where my philosophy comes to bear. I don't see any enemy in Anyochano. Even in this my political journey also, everybody must not support me. If there are 30, let's say 200 delegates, there's no how 200 will vote for me. It's not possible. There are people, for whatever is their conviction, that feels that it shouldn't be me. I don't begrudge you. You have the right of choice. You have the right of choice. Ultimately, God will decide who. There are also some people that will look around and say, okay, maybe Jude has the quality. Fine, good and fine. So the truth is that if you look around us, all of us among the contestants has all the qualities. We are wonderful people, eminently qualified. But again, as you are driving, my own vision, Jude Baadi, is that we should be one. I have the passion to unite the people of Anyocha. I said it in my last interview. Work with the great leader. Anyocha has one of the best brains. Work with them. Paul planted, Apollos watered, and it is only God that giveth increase. There's no need to fight ourselves because that position is only meant for one person. It is only our attitude that will determine what comes out after the election. So I'm going to be a symbol of unity. I cut across. I recognize there are groups. I don't want to call it, it's not faction. There are groups, there are associations, but we belong to one party. So wherever group you are, maybe it's to protect your own interest. I agree with you and I respect your choice. But again, under one umbrella, we are PDP members. So we should not see the other person that is not in your group as your enemy. And that is what I do. I said it with all sense of emphasis and sense of modesty that I cut across. I don't have any enemy. I see every one of us as one. You belong to a group because naturally you will always belong to a class. And that's all. And that is the way I look at it. And that's why also it's not, there are things they will also do in the group where I belong to. And I will say, no, I don't agree on this. It's not a cult. It's a group where we can gather together, and see how we can present ourselves for a better opportunity to serve. But that does not mean there are some principles or issues that if it's against my personal conviction, of course, I'm not a pushover. I will tell you with all due respect that I cannot follow you on this. So I try as much as I can to have a conscious void of offense, to try to be a bridge builder amongst all of us in Anyocha North. And God's willing, if I win the election, I will continue in that stride to unite everybody. There's no reason to quarrel. There's no reason to fight. If you say you want to serve and I want to serve and the other person wins it, then join him and encourage him to live up to his manifesto. Development is relative. There's human and there's capital development, infrastructural development. Human development is also important, very, very important. We need to, we need to develop the human there. Capital development is good, infrastructurally also good. But my two cardinal focus is human development and infrastructural development. Thank God for some of the politicians during this Christmas that were able to grade some of our roads. But there are some roads, there are towns that is just being divided by less than 2 kilometers that you cannot travel to. For instance, my village, Idumujuno, then the real village I am, the last house in Imobe in Idumujuno to the first house in Ubodu, I don't know the quarter in Ubodu, it's not up to 1 kilometer. The last house in Imobe can be talking to the first, the last house in Ubodu. But yet, when somebody wants to go to Ubodu, we have to drive through Iseluku to Onitshuku to Ubodu. So a journey that's supposed to have taken you possibly 3 minutes is taking you 30 minutes. And that road is just less than 3 kilometers. So why can't governments come and do it? Such road is very, very important. Look at Ubulubu to Ogodo. It's from Ogodo to Ubulubu to Uboba. That road is impassable. You cannot pass that road. Sometimes I sit down and I weep. I said, how are these people coping? How are the farmers? What is the means of transporting their goods from, their farm proceeds from that village to the neighboring town or market? They didn't do anything wrong for belonging to such community. Destiny have made them, they are part of us. They voted for whosoever is in government. So it takes sensitivity. People should be able to prioritize. It's not about bringing all the development inside only your community. All the road, including the ones to almost everywhere, is tired. We are Anyocha North. Prioritize those things. Don't center it in one place. Take it. Those are the most
area that is giving me a lot of concern. I don't sleep. I wish I have the money, my personal money, I would do it. I just gave you just two as an instance. And some other areas. There are some that doesn't have hospital. Not even a maternity. How can a town stay without health? You wake up in the morning and you are sick. The next thing you should do is to go to hospital. So you can imagine if somebody in, let me say somebody in Anioma, which is after Ogodo, is sick and you need to travel all the way, maybe from there to Seluku, to go and access medical care. I mean, won't that person die before that time if it's an emergency? Those are lives. Whatever the state of mind or whatever the nature of that person, every life matters. The same way that rich man values his life is the same way that poor man in the village values his life. So we should prioritize the distribution of infrastructure. The distribution of development should be, I mean, we should prioritize it, not on selfish way, but we should also on need basis. Who deserve it the most? It must not start from Idumujuno. I want to bring this road. Okay, the government said they're going to do so and so. Maybe let me give an example of maybe a total of 7 kilometers for this year in Anyocha North. I shouldn't begin to think of the road that leads to my house in Imobe. I should be able to objectively, selflessly, sincerely analyze in which town and which area, because you are not only representing one town, you are representing the 18 towns that makes up Anyocha North. The same way the person in Uboba voted for you is the same way the person in Ogodo voted for you, and the person in Aniofo and the person in Nezi voted for you. So all of them are important. First of all, let me tell you that our governor, our leader of the party in this state, His Excellency Senator Dr. Ato Kowa, is a product of transparency. His emergence as the governor was very transparent. Even though I wasn't a delegate to the election, but it was beamed live. I was in the comfort of my room watching it live. It was keenly contested. It was done in an open glare of the people. They saw it. People contested, and his emergence was a product of free and fair primaries. And that is why you could see that there was no litigation. Everybody, the people that lost, they were gracious in their defeat. Him also, our amiable governor also that won, became magnanimous in his victory. There was no acrimony after the election because a level playing ground was given to everybody. And that is the same advice I want to give to our people. And that is often what causes problem in our local governments. When you want to foist somebody to us in a fraudulent manner, it ought not to be. If I win and you take it from me and you give it to another person, there's no how that person will ever remain my friend. There's no how I'm going to genuinely laugh with such a person, because you have stolen what belongs to me. So what we're trying to say is, or even if you don't steal my mandate also, or you try to give advantage to one candidate over the other, that is wrong. Give us the level playing ground. Let all the candidates, let all the aspirants go to the field. Let them, first of all, we're doing the politicking. Already we're doing consultations. Every day we are with the delegates. And at the end, let the delegates choose who they want. I also want to plead with the leaders. You don't see a leader supposed to be seen to be neutral. That you made somebody a delegate does not mean that that person is not a stooge in your hand. He shouldn't be a stooge in your hand. I've been able to produce 1 or 2 delegates or be in a process, play a role in that. And during the election, they will come and meet me, a leader, where do you want us to go? And I will say, go and vote what is in your mind. Who is in your mind? Who is in my mind may not be who is in your mind. You have the right of choice. I don't need to tell you. You are in this Anyocha North. You know who you want to be your rep. You know who you want to be your House of Assembly. So leaders should also try to remove this nomenclature of he that pays the piper dictates the tune. You don't dictate tunes politically to people. And it is only when you even give them that free mind that you earn their loyalty. If you begin to push them to say do this and not, maybe unfortunately that person you are pushing them to go and vote is not what is in their mind. They are doing it, they will feel intimidated. They are doing it out of pressure. You are pressurizing them. And so when it matters most, they're not going to show you that loyalty, because you have subdued their wish and their interest. So leaders should learn to allow the delegates, don't influence them. You can talk to them, you can lobby them, you can say, I wish this, but don't make it force. If they come to you for advice, if you feel you want to advise them on who you feel, you can. That is your choice. Me, I don't do that. But the important thing is that you shouldn't put them under, some even go as far as putting them on that oath. We shouldn't do that. I mean, we should grow beyond those pettiness. It's not a do or die affair. Politics is a call to service. And so if you want to serve, people should determine who amongst them that they want to choose, not being induced. So that's my advice to our local government, that we should have a level playing ground, so that the winner will be very, very magnanimous and the defeated will be gracious, so that at the end of it, we can still be one family. At the end of it, all the contestants can say, yes, I put up a good fight, but ultimately God has chosen a winner. We can now embrace ourselves. All of us can come together and support that person who is now carrying our party flag. But when there is inhibition, when there is subdue, when there is deprivation in a subtle manner, some do it subtly, some also do it openly. Some use their power. Power belongs to God. Power is transient. Today you are here. If you are in any position, don't use that position to oppress people, because you are not going to remain there forever. Where I do my business, I've seen past governors that I meet in restaurants, and we eat, and you see them, shake and relate with people. But a few years ago, they were going in convoy. They were unreachable. So there's nothing that is permanent in this life. For any position you are that you're occupying, you should know that it was an opportunity given to you to serve the people. Don't use it to oppress those same people. Try to be accessible to people. And that's another cardinal thing that I keep talking about, and that pains me among the politicians. When it's during the time of election, they come to you, your phone will be blabbing, they will be calling you, they will be crawling in the night, begging you. Once they enter, their phone becomes private. They will put their phone in automatic reject mode. You can't access them again. That is gross inhumanity to man. It is unpardonable. I cannot be in the queue under sun to vote for you to be my rep, and I will call you, I cannot reach you. That is wrong. So accessibility, that's one of the things that I promised. And of course, they know who I am. In my private life, I answer all calls. I'm accessible to people. I don't have an escort, because I feel that there's nobody in Aniocha North that should. What are you hunting me for? Why will you wish bad thing for me? Why will you want to kill me? What will you gain in killing me? So why will I be among my people if my mind is clear? Why will I be carrying, security and security? No, I don't believe in that. It's God that gives protection. So accessibility is also another key factor. Then in the area of the election, they should give us all equal opportunity, a level playing ground. And I can assure you that if we do that and a winner emerges, and I emerge by the grace of God, every other contestant will be happy. They will accept it as the will of God.
That's it. As we wind this down, from the benefit of your experience in supporting and in encouraging election in Aniocha North, what is your advice for the electorate?
My advice to the electorate is they should be critical. They should mind who they vote for. I've made up my mind, and I don't even need to. That have been my principle. I don't talk about people. I don't have the time to talk about people. I don't engage in campaign of calumny. It's barbaric. It's a cake. I don't do those things. I tell you who I am. I don't know who the other person is. The other person should come and tell you who he is. Then you, that is electorate, should look around among the three and take a decision. And that's what I also advise. I advise all the fellow contestants to see it that way. Campaign of calumny breeds bad blood. It brings tension to the local government. Because when you say something bad against me, for instance, naturally me, I'm not going to reply you. But someone want to reply you with something also that is cynical. And before you know it, enmity and bad blood is breeding among us. So we should see it as, again, it's a contest. It's not a war. It's just a contest, it's not a war. And that position is just meant for one person. So it doesn't matter how you carry, how desperate you are. No, it's not about desperation. Do your work, meet the electorates, campaign in a civil way, and leave the decision for the electorates to do. Because if you begin to, nobody climbs and remain on top successfully and perpetually by bringing people down. It's not true. Even if you bring people down and you climb up through such way, it doesn't, your success is always temporary. It doesn't remain there forever. So let the electorate, my advice to the electorate is, let's be very careful, let's watch well. Let money not be the decider of who you want to vote. Let your conscience. What do you want to see in 2003? What is your dream for your channel? And who amongst them will be able to fulfill this dream for me? I give you money today, you eat it after 1 week of the election, or highest 1 month, that money is gone. But what will be the relationship? What happens after the election when that person is sworn in? So the question is from me, the answer is from them. It's for them to answer.